takes a touch. Kenzie with it, up over the keeper, Delude, and Bedford now has a 1-0 lead.
Lana Morris finds Kylie Morris. Kylie's got a shot at it at the end line, and it's in!
Goal!
Forrester with it, left foot into the middle, off the head, and Diaz with a shot at it, and it's good!
She's going to make it happen herself. Kenna with the right foot into the box, and a goal for Bedford!
Good evening and welcome to Bulldog Stadium in Bedford, New Hampshire for tonight's Division I girls soccer matchup between the Bedford Bulldogs and Hanover High School. I'm Lauren Fox, and alongside Bill Klein, we will bring you all the action for several home games on this Bedford High schedule. And Bill, the Bulldogs came off a 4-0 win in their season opener. Kenzie Forrester finding the back of the net 3 times. Anna Diaz assisting on, I had 3, I was told 4 goals. But regardless, Bulldogs, a big win to start off the season, and they are rolling into the season with a very experienced junior class. You've seen a lot of these names and remember them, of course. Annie Zink is a big one who causes a lot of chaos out there on the field. Anna Diaz, another one who is a midfielder who does an excellent job for the Dogs. Sloan Correa, a very good player who can swing between defense and midfield. But for the Bulldogs, we're talking about a team that is pretty well loaded and has some good senior talent as well.
I spoke to the Hanover coach before the game, and it's almost like the exact opposite, I'd have to say, Lauren. He's not optimistic other than the fact that it's going to be a building year. He's got a lot of sophomores playing. They don't have high expectations, but then you never know, and Hanover's always been a program that's been pretty good. I'll tell you real quick that the way the season ended last year, it's starting in the same vein up in Hanover. The boys are winning 1-0 Bedford over the Hanover Bears. Here, Hanover ended up 7th. The Hanover girls ended up 7th place. Bedford, is, I'm sure Bedford people remember, lost in the semi, so did not make it to the finals last year. But here we go. We're off.
And we are off. The Bulldogs taking on the Bears. A pocket picked right there, and right down the left side go the Bulldogs. Down into the corner and sent to the sideline, now to the middle, and the Bulldogs will lose possession on that one. And as always, kind of up here, it's a little bit more difficult for us to see what is going on than it is for our viewers at home, particularly on that far side of the field with the fawn on the back of those jersey numbers.
For me, it's a little bit better. I had some eye surgery, cataracts, and I can see most of the numbers, but the far side, it is hard.
It's mysterious. Annie Zink sends it into the middle for the Bulldogs. That's an easy one. Annie's over on the near side, and she's kind of everywhere. And now cleaning up on that back line and having her pocket picked for the Bulldogs. Back the other way comes Hanover, and Penelope Blattman sends it, tries to send it back into the middle, can't, now winds up getting it stolen from her, and right back the other way, Addie Kiley sends it out now to the middle. And things a little bit frenetic. The Bulldogs not as crisp as what they looked like back on Thursday night in that win against Nashua South.
Yeah, both teams, the boys and girls, both won. The boys, of course, Nashua's been one of the strong programs down there, both north and south. And we had beaten them to get in. Hanover won, and that was the final for the boys. The girls,
Addie Kiley sends it up the near side, finds Annie Zink. Annie on the run. She has Lila Yater. Lila to the middle of the field. A great move, but sent it just a little too far ahead of herself. And as a result, Hanover winds up getting it back. Now it's Sloan Correa on the near side. Sloan to the middle. Tried to find Cece Irwin, could not. And now back the other way comes Hanover as Torresani sends it over to the far side to Lohman and out of bounds. It'll be a Bulldog throw. Jenna Dindorf to take that throw for the Dogs and sends it over the head of Kenzie Forrester. The Bulldogs with some senior talent on this roster, as Zink, the junior, couldn't control that with the first touch. Sent back the other way by Correa. But the Bulldogs lost, of course, some productivity on last year's roster. Kate Michael, a very good defensive player. And, of course, the Morris twins, Lana and Kylie. And that takes away the opportunity that we had over and over last year to say Morris to Morris on offense.
And Along that same vein, what about the goalkeeping?
And
Touch base on that, because I know we didn't lose. We graduated a senior keeper.
we graduated a senior keeper, but she didn't play much, so we're not going to mention her name. She's busy doing other things right now anyway. Danny Winning in net for the Bulldogs, dressed brightly in neon, starting things off as a freshman here at home. For Bedford, it is a bit of a weird schedule. I'm sure my in-laws and my parents watching the game in Kansas and New Mexico, respectively, are wondering why I'm not mentioning Maggie's name. But Maggie gets enough publicity on her own. She doesn't need me doing anything else for her. So, but for the Bulldogs, a strong showing in Game 1 and a schedule that has them at home a decent amount early in the season, and then late in the season it's a little bit of road warrior status for the Dogs. And ultimately what will happen then is it's going to be a lot of road games, a lot of travel, and it should be interesting as they head into the playoffs. New Hampshire sports page going into this had the Bulldogs as the number 2 in Division I, which that is, I think, as unbiased and quality of a sports publication, regardless of sport, as we can have. Pete Terrier and his group over there do an excellent job of making sure that they ask literally everybody the right questions, from bus drivers and the librarians, you name it, they're doing what they have to do. So Hanover sends it back across, and CeCe Irwin, the sophomore, comes up with it now toward the middle. Jess Black will send it up to Annie Zink. Annie back to the middle. Tried to find Anna Diaz. Couldn't. Now Sloan Correa plays it off her head and gets it across the football 20. Lila Yater up front. Couldn't get to it. Now Annie Zink will tussle with Hanover for the ball. And Annie doing a great job. And Hanover just sends it out of bounds. Dahlia Fold does. But the officials up on the far side, or on the near side, I should say, dressed in yellow, Andy Paul, who, if you've played men's league basketball in this town, you probably disagreed with a call that Andy has made. Not that I would have ever spoken from experience. Hi, Andy. But Andy is a very good, very seasoned official. But early on in the game, he is letting the girls play, and I think that's just the way they like it. You would know, having been one yourself.
You betcha. Yeah, and you don't need to blow the whistle a lot of times. Sometimes it's kind of odd to end a game, and you've had very, very, very few. But, hey, if the players are doing what they're supposed to do and playing in a sportsmanlike manner, a little bit of hard contact here and there, nothing wrong with it. You don't want to affect the game. You want to let the flow of the game progress along with it. And like you said, that's the way they're doing it right now. We haven't had a whistle out for a foul. We don't need a whistle for a foul unless there's really one.
Nope. Kenzie Forrester to Anna Diaz, back to Jess Black in the middle. Jess, the junior, tried to send it back near side. That pass broken up by Blattman. And now Annie Zink will corral the ball, doing a great job boxing out, much like on the hardwood, Coach Gibbs would say. And sent out of bounds. And Andy will tell us it's going right to left, so it's going back Hanover's direction. And they will have a throw. We're TV only, right? We're not radioing. So, okay, I don't have to pathologically give the score every couple minutes. I forget what I'm supposed to do. It's been a minute. Andrew Fenn over here, ably handling the sound for us. As always, Hanover tried to find up the right side Samantha Daigle and over her head, and it will trickle out across the end line. So it'll be a Bulldog goal kick. About 7 minutes gone by here in the first half.
And speaking of our staff, the
Indeed.
president CEO of Bedford TV is upstairs manning the camera tonight.
We have a CEO?
CEO,
All right.
president.
Cool. Yeah, chief cook, bottle water. Actually, yeah, I think Colleen's actually the CEO and president of BCTV. If you asked Bill, he would probably say the same too.
Yes, he would.
Sloan Correa coming on over to take that throw for the Bulldogs. Sloan, a junior, very capable midfielder, will play defense as well. And if they had a hustle board, if the Bulldogs did, Sloan would be right up there with Annie Zink. Just seems to always get things done. And this year, a year better off of an ACL reconstruction during her freshman year. Ball sent far side up to Lohman, and Lohman will keep it in bounds, try to get it back to the middle, but Jess Black breaks it up, doesn't clear, and Hanover will send it high arcing right about to the 18 and then head it up to the keeper Winning, who catches it eye high and chucks it near side, and Annie Zink will come up with it. Annie has no shortage of energy. I can't even imagine. We have Coach Gibbs sitting to our left, so I'm saying these things knowing that he's my audience right now, but can't imagine what it's like to coach a player like that who has that level of intensity all the time, and has the motor to back it up. Hanover sends it in over to the far sideline to Lohman. Can she keep it in bounds? Doesn't, and it'll be a Bedford throw.
And I was just going to say that Hanover is showing some good ball skill, nice passing control there. And it looked like that was a great ball to play, just a little too far out in front of her. Number 10 on our side here, the left wing, she's actually been pretty impressive so far. She just put her hand up. She's been playing well, marked our defenders over there nicely.
So you are the one who is typically, because of your past history as an official, as Hanover is mounting a bit of a charge here. The ball sent into the box to Danny Winning. She'll field it on a roll, and the Bulldogs will send it back out. But we have had some rule changes in girls soccer, and I will defer to you if you want to tee that one up, or if you wanted me to touch on the big one, I'm happy to.
Well, I'm going to tell you, go ahead.
All right.
With one footnote that the...
Pun intended?
The footnote, the primary one, the only thing that I actually saw, to be honest with you, didn't do a lot of looking this year.
Okay.
However, was the elimination of overtime.
Okay, that was...
in the state of New Hampshire. That's
yes,
it?
that's it.
That's it.
That was, well,
that's it.
I don't know about anything else, but that's a really big one.
There wasn't anything else.
Okay, but to me, that's the biggest one. So we'll talk about that as we're 10 minutes gone by here in the first half. No overtime.
Correct.
Things get a little
in
weird.
regular season.
In regular season.
In regular season.
Strategically, okay, that changes your strategy a bit, because if you're really concerned about a team beating you with a deep ball, you just sink everybody back, and that's it. You pick up a point, you pick up a tie, and that's that. Danny Winning will field that one on the hop right at the end line and come back to send it the other way. But what is the NHIAA's rationale for doing away with overtime in the regular season?
Honestly, I'll tell you a couple things that I'm aware of.
I would hope you wouldn't be dishonest with me about it.
I can't be.
No,
I can't be.
Why would you lie about that?
There've been historically a couple discussions, and part of it has been the longer you play, the greater chance there is of injuries, especially in a place like New Hampshire compared to some of the other states in the country. However, here it's fairly cool, so you're not looking at the heat factor.
No.
However, you do have players that have been out there longer, and other than that factor, that's the only thing that I'm aware of that has been discussed by the Rules Committee over the last 10, 15, 20 years, is the length of the games, trying not to keep them going. The record in high school soccer, the longest game ever played, and it'll never ever happen again. Do you remember this number?
I know you've talked about it.
350 minutes of soccer. That's just crazy. That was a boys' game, but it's immaterial. Soccer's soccer. I am not a lesser fan of one game over the other. They're two fantastic games, as our women's soccer teams have proven.
Oh, I prefer
all over the world.
I watch so much of women's / girls soccer. It's what I enjoy. Hanover on the run. Danny's got to come out, and she leaves the back line in time, makes a save, and we're still scoreless. Just over 12 minutes gone by, but looking at, it's funny. I went back and watched footage of the elimination game for the Bulldogs, the quarterfinal game when they lost to Portsmouth, and as the ball is sent up the far side to Kenzie Forrester, Kenzie bringing it back into the middle. Kenzie will send it now to Jess Black. Jess taking her time, had her pocket pick there, and Grace Stewart knocks it away. The Bulldogs will try it again. Kenzie, far side, with a quick turn, is dragged down, and it looks like it will be bare ball.
Hey,
So
I want to go back real quick to
Yes.
some play on the field there. And a footnote to this, that coach winning
yes,
was the West goalkeeper,
Yes.
state champion.
absolutely.
And daughter is on the field.
Yes.
And honestly, she reminds me of her mother, who I had the pleasure of with Jack O'Mara as the coach and whatnot, seeing for a number of years out there in the field. She came off the line. The timing was absolutely perfect to play that ball, and the pressure that the Bedford defenders had around her, the support, was perfect. They worked together.
That was it was
nice. It was
good
nice.
play for a less seasoned keeper. That one sent near side to Annie Zink.
Is this her first game starting?
She
Lauren?
started on Thursday as well.
Oh, she did?
So another footnote, if you remember the name Kelly Landon from those West teams as well.
Yes.
Kelly's daughter is Cece Irwin, who is Cece is wearing for the Bulldogs number 8.
Oh my gosh.
Right at the 17-yard line. So a couple in for the Bulldogs. Entering the game, Meredith Reich making that throw, and Libby Fox also in for Bedford. Libby will hold it in, has it in the corner, sends it to the middle. Nice cross for the Dogs, and Anna Diaz had a shot at it. Held it in fairly well for Bedford, and now Bulldogs will have another bite at the apple. Bedford far side, pass to Libby and off her foot and out of bounds, and we're about 14-20 in, still scoreless in this game.
And the other note to make is the fact that this is the second year now that you've got two Manchester programs, and I'll call them Manchester programs, formerly West and Central, who back when it was there was no, and the Bedford players went to West High School.
Sloan Correa sends it through. Libby Fox with it, takes a touch, another touch, gets hit. Now it just to the right of the net for Libs. Bedford with an opportunity to knock one in. Job on the body control, and Sloan doing an excellent job. Her teammate right stretch in the defense. So we may see that again.
And to just finish that comment up
Yes.
about the connection that now Central combined for the last year, and now this is the second year of having a single because of the lack of players, especially at West.
And unfortunately, that's sort of been the theme. Central West, they've been doing the same thing with baseball as well, where you have one for both schools, and it's I don't think Central West may have had a JV baseball team last year, but when you look at the number of talented kids who've come through those programs as West and Central, it's almost as if it's a challenge getting kids to come out, period, regardless of school. So you hate to see that from a town that is as populous as Manchester is. You want kids to keep playing for as long as they possibly can.
Perfect with this, though, the changes over the years. Earlier today, I'm out shopping. Guy, I said, I think I recognize you. And he said, well, I don't know how you be. I said, did you go to Central? And he said, yes, I did. I said, do you know Chip Kelly? He said, yes, I do. I mean, Central has had a remarkable group of graduates,
Yeah.
and some of the other high schools as well. Turned out, how many pro coaches have they done? It's amazing for a Northeast community the size of, relatively
Right.
speaking,
It's
Manchester.
But you look at the picture, and it was a thing as we're scoreless here, about 17 minutes in. When you look at the state of New Hampshire, there was a point a few years ago where we had the Market Corner baseball general managers. It was an odd thing where it was Brian Harrington and Neil Huntington, and there were a number of them who all had Bedford ties or New Hampshire ties.
New Hampshire.
And it just kind of comes and goes. But the football and athletic thing was certainly one that was unique. And I don't know if for a state this small to turn out pushing tree that it has over the years has been absolutely out of the ordinary.
And of course, you as a slight baseball fan, buff, whatever we want,
Yes.
you know more than I about, Chris and some of the other major league players that we've turned out. Rich Gale.
Oh, yeah. Steve Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. A couple of them I knew personally because they went UNH back when UNH had baseball, which I'd love to see come back.
Hands it into the box, trying to clear it was Meredith Reich, unable to do so. Enzi Forrester with a header, far side, and right back the other way comes Hanover. Throw on the far side for Hanover in this scoreless game about halfway home in our first half of soccer.
With, going back to your question about the rule changes this year.
Yes.
There are no rule changes other than in New
That
Hampshire
is a
in
giant.
the offside.
Okay.
That's why I gave you the look that because while I said I
Okay.
didn't look too long at the rule changes for this, it's because, Lauren, I didn't have to.
Okay.
The first page said there are virtually no rules this year.
That's wild.
In
But
boys and girls soccer nationwide.
that is the change for time is not a small change.
Oh, no, it's huge. And by the way, I just, in between there, I was counting. Last year, on the girls' side, there were 24 reg games that ended in a tie, in spite of overtime.
Yes.
Something to do with it, too. Does overtime really help determine a winner?
I mean, but man, there's something to be said for as the ball is sent into the box, Libby and the keeper lock horns and sends it out, but it's held in there by Meredith Wright. Now to Libby corner, Libby will send it in, knocked away, and the ball held in there by Addie Kiley, but Hanover will just try to send it over the midline, clear it, trouble, and it looks like it might roll out of bounds, but Meredith Reich doing a good job. Hanover offensive player away from it, and now the Bulldogs will try to get things going back the other way. Up on the far side, fight for the ball, great job there by the Bulldog offensive player on the far side, whose number I can't currently make out in games, but we'll get it all. Annie's on the other side. Okay, that's why she was fighting for the ball like it was a dog and a piece of steak. Right, near side, Libby. Libby with the, sends it back now. Kylie
This
punches
could
it up
play well.
to the 18. Now, Anna Diaz gets clobbered by the keeper, but somehow sends it pepper and in. It was a ball that was sent by the Bulldogs. The idea that somebody was going to run up under it, you don't necessarily think your midfielder is going to run up under in the case of Anna Diaz, but Anna was the one.
Unfortunate replay, but when that ball left the player's foot into the goal mouth, I noticed that the Hanover keeper did not react quickly enough to it. She should have gone out very, very quickly on that sheet and did not, and that's when I murmured, this looks like one that could end up being, and it went in the net.
Yep, you absolutely. Well, this is what happens. You get the reps from watching a lot of soccer, and you get accustomed to seeing a thing that looks like another thing. And sure enough, I misspoke when I said who had scored or who had sent the ball over for the Dogs. It was McKenna Snow who wound up getting the assist for Bedford, and the goal to Anna Diaz. For Anna, it is her first. And sometimes for the Bulldogs, you get this kind of when it rains, it pours thing, and I think they're hoping for the same right now. Hanover trying to equalize it about 19 minutes remaining here in half number one.
And part of my reaction, Lauren, when I said that this looks good, like an opportunity here, is because of the players and knowing Diaz. Since the first time I saw her, she stuck out as highly skilled. This level of play, she's going to be one of the best players on any field in the state of New Hampshire against any team.
Agree completely. And as you look at the Diaz family, of course, Gavin, older brother, a vital cog on that BHS team that beat Hanover in the state championship game last fall. And so you have Gavin, who has won one, Anna won one in 2022.
Yeah.
And you have younger sister Maddie, who is an excellent player in her own right. And Maddie is an 8th grader at Lurgio. And of course, Maddie is one that you want to watch out for, and we may be seeing her on this field next year as well, playing on defense for the Bulldogs. So the Diazes have kept the cupboards of Bedford High soccer fairly full. Gavin is now down at Lynn University, oddly enough playing for John Roots, who was the head coach at New Hampshire College back in the day when Sean Diaz, the father of all three of those kids, played at New Hampshire College. So
did Roots go through UNH then after that before he headed south?
I don't know. I only know Roots because, get this, you want small world. Roots lives across the street from my sister-in-law down in Boca Raton. How do you like that?
That is pretty darn small.
And yeah, so anyway.
I also think that before he took the Lynn job, he was the athletic director, or not athletic director, soccer sports director at Clemson when the UNH coachings went down there.
You may know better than I do. You probably do. Soccer Night with Bill Klein here. Bedford 1, Hanover nothing. And Libby Fox out of the game. Now Kenzie Forrester in on the right side for the Bulldogs.
One of the skills that Anna Diaz is consistent with is she knows she's looking up, seeing who's around her before she touches the ball, not after. So she has a very good feeling of what she wants to do and then has more time to do it.
You are spot on with that one as Kenzie Forrester wins a 50-50 ball, heads down the right side, finally has it taken away by Dahlia Fold. And now Anna back the other way, tried to send it through right there to Lila Yater, couldn't. And knocked away by Grace Stewart. And it will be a Hanover throw from the far side. Bedford on top 1-0. About 15:50 left here in the first half. Hanover trying to mount a little bit of a charge. Bedford with that stout defensive line. They have 5 players socked back, 6 socked back on defense now, so they appear to be making a concerted effort just to stop the Bears on offense more than anything, really challenging them to go into the teeth of that defense. Ball far side. Looks like that one may just rattle out of bounds, and Annie Zink giving chase, and Hanover will send it out of bounds. The overtime thing will, of course, impact strategy, and we saw it last year. I think it was early on in the season. It was hot. It was 85, 90 degrees, and the Bulldogs were down playing Wyndham, and Bedford had no chance at scoring at any point in that game, and somehow wound up getting it was almost a fluky shot right near the end of the first half. Won a game 1-0 against a Wyndham team that was not as skilled as the Bedford team, but Wyndham almost went into that game thinking, hey, we're going to do everything that we can to just keep them off the board, walk out of here with a tie. It's a hot day, don't want anybody getting injured. And I guess speaking of that, a penalty assessed on Kenzie Forrester just shy of midfield, and looked like Josie White, if I saw the number when she went down. It was Kenzie called for a dangerous play, I'm guessing. It was 2 people going for a ball, and it was a kick, and down went the Hanover player, so the trainer out to check things out.
Charge, whatever. Yeah, I think it was a good call. Just preceding that, I don't know if anybody picked up the bad throw-in call against Bedford.
Yeah.
I saw it and was surprised he blew the whistle, although from here it clearly did not. She didn't pull the ball back behind her head at all.
So this is one of these things
almost
that
like a 2-hand set shot.
You see it a lot in, like I saw it a decent amount in Summer League. You'll see it in travel. You'll see it watching high school games. How is it that you have high school players, not to belabor a point, but how is it that you have high school players who just don't execute the simple, it's the same thing you do over and over again? How is it that is something that gets called? it shouldn't happen, should it?
Lauren, you're right. It shouldn't. It's like it's an excuseless foul, and it frustrates a coach when it happens, and the parents and a lot of other people, including their teammates, because it is so simple. There's no pressure. You grab the ball. You have to draw it from behind your head and release it with two hands in front of you. However, part of the deal is, and you've seen it, it's very seldom called. I've seen flagrant bad throws over and over and over. We got to wait for the whistle, ladies. Let's hold on here.
Well, and it is the kind of thing, too. It's not like an offside call where if you call it or don't call it, half the place is going to think that you did or didn't, or should or shouldn't have. It is something that a layperson can see and immediately identify. So it's if it's something like that, it's like, why would you even bother getting your hand caught in the cookie jar?
Second goal scored by the boys team, Bedford Bulldogs, up in Hanover to make the score 2-0. First goal was Travis. Second goal was Ali.
And we were just talking about Sean Diaz. Sean up there with Stuart Pepper, coaching soccer, as it is.
Yep.
I have to remind myself to, when I'm talking to Sean, speak in soccer language.
And that family, it goes way back for me because I actually reffed a couple of Sean's own games when he played at Northeastern, and then came up and transferred up to New Hampshire College.
My God, you remember him from that?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Because he was probably the shortest guy in the field. Does that surprise you?
No.
But he was good. He had skills.
It's not that short. Ball sent in. Nicely caught by Danny Winning. Grace Stewart.
And I guess he will be listening to this. So, Sean,
he'll probably listen to it tomorrow on the way to work.
Comparatively speaking,
I'll get a text, but no.
A couple of the African players and whatnot that came over, the Swedes and all those crews back then, was amazing.
Now the ball sent into the box. Tough one for
Offside?
Danny. Comes off the line.
No.
Thought it might have been. I don't disagree with you, but Danny doing a good job back there. Wise beyond her years for the Bulldogs, leading 1-0. 12:40 left here in the first half.
To our listener viewers, from up here, there's no way that we can actually make that call in the offsides. You got to be in position, and on a positive note, the official was in the correct spot to make the call.
Sometimes you can do it with the football lines, though. If somebody starts a run, you can see that at least. Kenzie sends it a little bit of a shank right side, and that will be a Hanover throw. Not terribly egregious, but regardless, probably she has a look on her face like she'd want that one back. And Andy Paul will signal to Dahlia Fold where she needs to take that throw, and she does. Now Anna doing a great job winning the ball and gets sent down to her knees and shoved down at that point by Salome Barshager. And as she gets knocked down, winds up taking a ball to the face. So,
and
soccer's a tough game.
Hey, consistent officiating so far here. What you just said about the offside and whatnot and the lines makes me think of a slight comparison to a call in baseball, that you've got to be in position to see it, and 99% of the people in the stadium cannot determine whether or not it was a correct call or not. You got to go to instant replay. What is it? From an umpire, you remember I did umpire too, like you.
Okay.
That was my involvement.
I'll think about it. We'll get back to that one.
Picture the bases. First and third are the only places it happens. That's my hint.
Oh, I mean, I know what I think it is, but the rules have changed a lot since you umpired as well. Grace Stewart will sends it in off the foot of Sloan Correa, and Danny's going to have to clear it with her foot. Couldn't touch it with her hands. Grace Stewart now holds it in, sends it up. Kenna Snow with a mighty kick. Lila Yater with a step on Hanover. Takes a touch, and great job getting back on D by the Hanover defender Samantha Daigle to pick Lila Yater's pocket, but a frustration foul called there. I thought that one was going to be called on Daigle for maybe a little bit of a push, but I think they called it on Yater, and it will be a Hanover kick from the football 25.
Yeah, if the official's in position, if he's in the right place to make the call, you know, with due respect, I'd say he probably made the right call from up here. I agree with you, Lauren, 100%. It looked like it was going to go the other way, but I imagine.
I'm not knocking Andy. I will say.
It was the other way around.
Andy is very good, very seasoned official. I'm not, in no way am I saying that.
Oh, no.
Just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean you can say whatever you want to right after that. Yes, I can. It's in the.
Wait a minute.
It's in the Geneva Convention. Bedford leading 1-0, 9.5 minutes here in the first half. I'll stop quoting Talladega Nights eventually, maybe.
Oh, I kind of doubt it, Lauren.
Nope.
I think we can count on you.
Yep. Nope.
You've got
Another
such
throw.
a wealth of
Useless knowledge.
useless.
Yes. Yep.
You said it, not me.
Yep, I know. Blattman with it, makes a move, trying to get around Sloan Correa, does with the left foot. Running out of options, though, in that sideline on her left side, a big defender. Correa breaks up the pass. The only thing I can think of, going back to what you were talking about, was somebody running out of the baseline with running. Oh, well, I mean, fair foul, I guess.
The ball over the base.
The ball over the base is hard, although,
Yep.
I mean, you see that missed a decent amount at lower levels because people kind of fail to realize if it hit in fair and went over the base, you don't really have that cone
Right.
that you can see the ball go through, but ball sent out across the end line, and it will be a Bedford goal kick for the Dogs.
Here's a bit of trivia.
Yes.
In this game so far, we're 32 minutes gone, 8
Yep.
minutes to go.
Yep.
Has there been a corner kick
No.
by either team?
No.
Neither team.
Interesting.
That's one of the things that if you look at the post-game stats for games, collegiate games or pro games and whatnot, you always see how many fouls, corner kicks, offsides, let alone goals and assists. But corner kicks are usually important. Usually the team that has more corner kicks wins the game. Indication that you're taking shots and maybe they go off a defender.
Yes. Jess Black back into the game for the Bulldogs. I think she replaced Emma Peterson. And now back the other way comes Bedford, trying to send the ball out. Hanover really kind of struggling to get anything cohesive going on offense. They may just have to look for the big play, but we haven't really seen either team be perfect so far on offense yet. Nobody is executing like it's October yet. McKenna Snow sends it high in the air toward midfield. Lila Yater with a chance at it, fights for the ball, can't come down with it. And Hanover taking a couple touches here and trying to get something going. Grace Stewart trying the give and go, but nothing doing, and Bedford sends it back to the near side where Kenzie Forrester heads it to keep it in.
That was nice.
It was a nice play, but at that point you almost want to let it go out and sort of reset on defense a bit. But regardless, Hanover now with the ball again, sends it back in off the head of Jenna Dindorf. Annie Zink, far side, couple touches, and winds up holding the ball in. But right now, this game really being played a lot between the 25-yard lines.
And the Hanover girls are doing a pretty darn good job of defending, keeping the Bedford girls from mounting any true attack. Most of the opportunities that have come for Bedford, I think, have been longer balls pitched in towards the penalty area.
Ball sent back into the middle. Kind of a dangerous ball at that point. Addie Kiley sends it back near side. Couldn't quite get it up and over the top of the defense, and Allison Daigle will hang on to it. Eleanor Bradley sends it back over far side and trying to get it up over top of the defense, but again, Kiley doing a nice job keeping the ball in, and now the ball just sort of being batted around along the 20-yard line now. To Annie Zink, stolen there by Hanover. Now Stewart with it, sends Cece Irwin down in a pile.
Good no call.
Anna Diaz tried to clear the ball out of there. Annie Zink will chase it down to the sideline, somehow winds up coming up with it, sends it off a Hanover player. It'll be Bedford throw coming up, and that one a hustle possession that the Bulldogs won simply by having Annie Zink go after it.
It's I think the Hanover girls are hustling, but they don't have the extra level of expertise, if you will, of the skill to make the subsequent passes. When they do get the ball, many of the balls are going like that one just did, and it's lost very quickly because it's not a high percentage probable shot to maintain possession of the ball.
Looked like Samantha Daigle got away with a handball on that one right around midfield. She seemed a little bit surprised by it. Now ball sent back near side. Blattman and coming with the left foot. Blattman now has a chance at a good shot with her right foot. Misses to the right across the end line off the pass from Bradley. And it will be a Bedford goal kick coming up with about 4:20 left here in the first. Kenzie Forrester heading off. Or actually, I should say Lila Yater heading off. Libby Fox heading in now. Libby at striker, replacing the freshman Yater.
Final score, the boys finished the game the way they finished last year, a 2-0 win. This time,
I was going to say last year was 4-0.
4-0 last year, but today 2-0 at Hanover, which I think that's huge too.
Well, Hanover did have several players that they lost from last year's team who were really vital cogs. Ryder Hayes was one.
Yes.
And I'm blanking on his last name right now. Zach is his first name, but two very impressive athletic players who are no longer part of that program. Those two are tough to replace. And it's one of those things that you look at on paper and you say, man, how did the Bulldogs come out with that 4-0 win over a team that was as physical and stacked as they were? But from talking to Sean Diaz about it, one that really sort of wowed things as Blattman tried to pick the pocket of the Bulldogs, and again, still trying. Cece Irwin with a shove to the back of Blattman. Now the ball sent back to the middle. Promise I'll conclude that thought in a second. And the ball sent back. Hanover had a chance to try to get something going on offense, and Cece did a great job just getting physical right there. And now Libby's just playing chase in the middle with the Hanover back line. But Sean Diaz said that the ones who were the one that he has heard raves on more than anybody was Ethan Benjamin, the midfielder for the Bulldogs, who played great in that championship game.
Yes.
So very interesting when you look at it.
He had a great game.
Of course, there were a number of guys coming out of there with goals in that 4-0 win. Ethan did not have one. However, he was doing a lot of things that were unrecognized by me, who I will refer to as the casual soccer fan, but were noticed by people who actually know the game. Ball sent out of bounds, and it will be a Hanover corner kick. Broadcaster jinx, 37.5 minutes gone by, and Bill Klein, I'm not giving you credit for that one. It wasn't, he's a perfect 20 of 20 on field goals this year, and there goes wide right.
We'll see what the percentage is here for tonight. One corner, will it set play?
Tough set piece. Hanover will send it in. Can't make out exactly who that is from our angle, but regardless, she sends it into the box.
Good ball.
And it gets right through the box and still rattling around. You just got to get that thing out of there. And now Reese Hamlin will pick it up, chased by Libby and knocked out of bounds far side by Annie Zink.
Well played. You know, talk about them, you know, set plays, restarts, whatever you want to call them, and it's something you can practice and, you know, find the best player to take those kicks, whether it's the left side, the right side, when it comes to corners, direct kicks around the goal. It's a major part of coaching to figure that out, and then the players, once it's a real game, to actually execute the way they've been practicing them. That looked like it was done quite well.
Yes,
I give Hanover
agreed.
Props on that, so to speak.
So we are with the clock stopped now, so the half will end when it ends, I suppose. Ball sent toward midfield. Libby Fox with it, couldn't come up with it. Now sent back in, a high ball. Blattman had it go off of her, and now it rattles around for a bit. Danny Winning will come up with it. Bedford on top 1-0 here. And Danny evaluating her options. Sends it high. Cece Irwin will fight for it. Does a good job hanging on. And now the Bulldogs had a shot to get something going. Jess Black just couldn't connect with Anna Diaz. And see what happens in the waning seconds here of half number one. Ball sent in to Danny. Nice job playing it eye high. and the Bulldogs might have one more run at things. Danny will send it to the near sideline, high hop up and over, and that will do it for us here in the first half of Bedford v. Hanover here at Bulldog Stadium.
With a score of just 1-0.
The one goal we saw came at the 1947 mark. Anna Diaz off the foot of McKenna Snow. We will take a quick break for halftime, come right back. You are watching Bedford Bulldog Girls Soccer on BCTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Stadium, Bedford, New Hampshire. Lauren Fox alongside Bill Klein, talking about some soccer here today. The crowd mic is on 11, Andrew. Thank you. We can have some, but that was like crazy. Sorry. Bulldogs lead 1-0. Goal coming off the foot of Anna Diaz on a ball over the top by McKenna Snow. And that was about halfway through the first half, and that is where we stand right now. Change in net for the Dogs. We were kind of aware that there was going to be time split, and now it is junior Carolyn Kemp in net for Bedford, replacing Danny Winning, who did an excellent job on her BCTV debut. Not that that's of any significance. She actually made her real live BHS debut last Thursday. Ball into the middle. Sloan Correa with it, taking her time. Sends it back far side. Now up the far side. And a scramble for the ball up the side. Annie Zink up there. Ball sent out of bounds. It'll be a Bulldog ball on that throw. Bill Klein, any bright spots in the first half that stood out to you?
Well, from a Bedford perspective, the score.
Of course. Leading in a game is always preferable to trailing.
I will definitely give a shout out to the Hanover young ladies that played pretty darn well, slowed down Bedford and prevented them from getting very many shots off.
Penalty called there on Sloan Correa, but I will intercede in Sloan's defense that the player was on her way down and just managed to collide with Sloan as she was falling. So regardless, penalty called, and the ball will go back the other way. The Hanover Bears going left to right on your TV screen or your laptop or whatever. And they are wearing white with maroon. The Bulldogs clad in black with red, except for the keeper, who is wearing neon, as is the student section here tonight, because that's the theme.
Did the Bedford players on the black uniforms have numbers on the back?
They do. They're somewhat illegible, but Anna Diaz sends it up far side to Annie Zink. Annie sends it into the box and picked up there by the keeper, Sadie Ross.
I would say that if there's one thing that Coach Winning would have probably said to the Bedford Bulldog team at that half would have been, we need to get more shots, because they really have not gotten that many off, especially ones that were truly on goal, a shot on goal.
It is a hallmark of these BHS teams. When they're playing at their best, you see a triangle that sort of moves up the field, and there's a pass and a pass and a pass, and players are almost in the back of their minds looking for the opening. The triangle just sort of moves and the ball goes up the field, and all of a sudden there's an opening and a player takes advantage of it. But it is, when it is done properly, and I will say 2022, it was done properly for about the back half of that season. Anna Diaz somehow snakes through the Hanover defense, keeps the ball alive, gets it to Kenzie. Now with a shot at it was Sloan, but they communicated. Kenzie winds up keeping it, sends it into the box about the 18, and nothing doing, and Hanover will come back the other way. But when it is done properly, it is a thing of beauty, but it requires a lot of work on the daily to get to that point.
Yes, it does. Because you're not talking about three players alone. It's a combination of the triangles moving up the field, being positioned a little bit in advance, but then you're putting the ball into space a lot of times, which is one of the points of the triangle.
And it is
without a player being there when the ball's passed.
Exactly, it's that anticipation, and it is a difficult thing when you have players who may play for different programs
And as Coach Winning will mention, the style of play, playing travel soccer, as Jenna Dindorf is sent flying to the turf, the style of play in travel soccer is different from high school soccer. It is not quite as physical. And so players in this situation now are required to be a little bit more physical and dish it out more than they're accustomed to.
Yeah, you get a little, I think one of the things probably is a broader age range in high school.
Yes. And that's another consideration where you look and maybe you're juniors playing as a 2008, but now you're playing with kids that could theoretically be anywhere from a 2006 to a, 2010, 11?
Yeah.
I don't know. So it is a broad range of player, and everybody matures at slightly different paces as well.
And you were so correct that, since I started up here 3-4 years ago, but both
CeCe Irwin, great job controlling the ball, threading the needle, and now Bedford had a chance at it. Ball sent just into the box. Continue, sorry.
Compared to almost every other team that Bedford's going up against, that connected series of passes, and part of it's a triangle, and it's anticipating knowing where your teammate's going to be, so you can put the ball into space, and somebody's going to get there 9 out of 10 times. They're collectively they've consistently done a very, very fine job of that.
And if I'm noticing it, it's like one of those so simple even a caveman could do it things that it's got to be apparent to other people that, hey, wow, this is working pretty well and it's precise, but it takes time, and it's the difficult thing with any sport, regardless of whether it's basketball, football, you name it, but it's commitment to do the things that nobody else wants to do so that you can ultimately do the things that nobody else can. And the passing, practicing, and working on an offense isn't fun. Now McKenna Snow on the run. McKenna's about as fast as anybody, threading the needle, going horizontally for a second, gets it to CeCe Irwin. CeCe finds Anna Diaz, back to McKenna, who after that run looked a little bit out of gas and a little disoriented there.
What a shame.
She looked like her dad. That she gets that from her dad, I think. And now Hanover with the ball. But what we are not seeing is the sort of implied communication, I guess. When you get to that point, when you're a great team, you don't have to outwardly communicate, you just know.
Yep, absolutely.
Brady would know where Gronk was, same sort of thing. So, but again, we're Tuesday after Labor Day. It's early when it comes to this sort of stuff, and there's a lot of green grass between now and the playoffs. Jenna Dindorf, the throw, sends it high up, and a battle for the ball there. Lila Yater with it. CeCe Irwin comes away now. Anna Diaz tried to send it up the far side to Annie. Couldn't come up with it. And Hanover back the other way. Stewart has the pass broken up by Anna Diaz. In NH Sports Page's preview this morning, they referred to a player for the Bulldogs named Annie Diaz. And now wouldn't that be a player, combining Annie Zink and Anna Diaz? Not that either of them have many deficiencies, but that would be a kind of a five-tool player, as it were, on the pitch. Ball sent far side by Penelope Blattman. Blattman fighting for the ball, and he winds up getting knocked out of bounds, and they say that she sent it off the Bulldog defender, so it will be a Hanover throw from the far side.
Yeah, it's one thing that you touched on just recently about the fact they're playing, club teams and playing with kids from all over the state, and in some cases maybe even a couple out-of-state players joining them. And then I think back years, and this was a long time ago, talking 60 years ago, and teams were not club teams. There were only town teams.
Yes.
Across the United States.
It was a way better time.
It was simple. It was so much simpler.
Oh my God. They were because the only thing I actually know about is baseball, obviously. They were speaking the other night, or it might have been yesterday's Red Sox broadcast, as a foul is called there on Jenna Dindorf. It looks like she might have just low-bridged Cassidy Lowman a little bit, so low-bridge Lowman. Can I say that? And they were talking about in the state of Wyoming, there is no high school baseball. So Brandon Nimmo, who's an outfielder for the Mets, first-round draft pick, got signed as a first-round draft pick as the ball is sent in the box to Carolyn Kemp off of Carolyn's chest, and it will rattle around and knocked out of bounds, but unclear on whom. And they will say it is going to be off of Hanover, so Bedford catches a lucky bounce there. But in a state like Wyoming, there's no high school baseball. There's not much travel baseball. So in order for Nimmo to get seen, he was playing Legion ball in the summer, which has grown in prominence here in Bedford now, where we have a lot of kids playing Legion ball in addition to the various travel programs. But it is a challenging thing for parents if you're trying to figure out to get the best opportunity for your player, what's out there. And it's difficult to navigate. We talked about some of the schools not having full teams. That may be a underlying cause as well. Now the ball sent in. Carolyn Kemp will watch it go by the end line, and Carolyn will take a corner kick.
We are seeing Hanover now putting on a little bit of pressure, a couple shots there.
They are absolutely threatening right now.
You mentioned Wyoming, and some states, especially the ones out west, don't have the same programs at all that we have. They're not playing 11 versus 11 games. They don't have enough kids at the high schools.
Did that one get deflected on the way out? It must have, correct? Or was there a penalty called? Regardless,
I didn't see it.
Bedford has a wall set up. Hanover taking a kick from the 20. Carolyn, a tough test here, and it goes up and over Carolyn's head and into the net, and that will equalize things. Wow, for Hanover. Tied up one apiece. Don't know.
And unfortunately, we don't have replay tonight. For us especially, you will at home if you're watching this game after the fact.
I saw
or
the ball
on your TV. You probably do it.
I guess we can go back later and see it, but I saw the ball get sent out across the end line, and it looked like it was a goal kick. Didn't see a call, and so I guess the only thing it would have been was a penalty assessed right there.
It had to be a penalty there,
right?
Because it would have been
a corner otherwise. Yeah.
Corner.
Yes.
Maybe a handball if it was in fact deflected and he called a handball.
Could be, but
I didn't see anything at all.
Didn't see anything that would have precipitated that. But regardless, the goal scored there by Hanover. Perhaps Kevin Gibbs might get a little bit of intel from the field if you. Okay, we got nothing. All we got is a tie game. 29-11, the equalizer came.
Wow.
Now Bedford's got to find a way to get back on the board. Ball sent to the middle. Stolen there by Malia Pratt. And back the other way comes Hanover. And Addie Kiley disrupts it. Now back up the far side. Annie Zink sends it into the box. Nothing good's going to happen for Hanover there. Although a nice play made by Reese Hamlin. And it looked like Hamlin caught it with her foot, and the keeper picked it up, right? Did you see that?
I could not tell the way the ball was spinning. Had a lot of spin to it. I think it spun into the keeper's hands.
Okay, because all right, the goal for Hanover scored by Allison Daigle at that 29-11.
Unassisted.
Unassisted, obviously. It was a direct kick.
Free kick. Yeah.
And a great ball.
It was. And I just said that Hanover was starting to take some shots, and the momentum had clearly swung to a certain extent after being much more Bedford controlled earlier.
If you're the Bulldogs, you got about 27 minutes left in the game. Now is the time you can't panic. And McKenna Snow tried to send it out, couldn't. Now just sends it out of bounds, and Kenzie Forrester will pick it up out of bounds, and it will be a Hanover throw. 29
substitution coming,
or 27:07 remaining here in the game. Don't know what the call was that precipitated the kick, though. Have to go back and watch that one as soon as it gets uploaded, I suppose. Throw comes in. Cece Irwin, nice job just keeping the player from the ball. And now Bedford just trying to find a way to clear, but they're not having a whole lot of energy on defense right now. And they're looking for a proper clear, not really getting it. The ball sent in, and Carolyn Kemp will pick it up on a couple hops, and right back the other way come the Bulldogs as Carolyn goes to throw it to the far side, but it looked like it just kind of slipped out of her hands and out of bounds far side. It will be a Hanover throw, unforced error on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, like we were talking about before, how easy it is to take a throw, and our keepers need to be a little bit more consistent. The Bedford keepers, that is, on delivering the ball back in. You've got it in your hands. If you can punt it well, punt it. If you can't, you throw it. That should be accurate, much more accurate than that one was. That was just a real quick toss back out in the field. And you just mentioned about it's not necessarily a big rush. They got plenty of time.
No, they are playing with a sense of urgency that's not really necessary at this point in the game, though. They're trying to. They're down by 4 points with 5 minutes left, and they're checking up threes every time they come down the court. Not the time to be doing that. Get a defensive stop, make something happen. Now Jess Black with it. Jess taking her time. Winds up getting into Jenna Dindorf. Jenna sends it to the middle and gets it to Lila Yater. Lila with a great first touch. Now back to the middle. And Anna Diaz with it, sends it to Kenzie Forrester, tried to near side, couldn't find her. Now Anna does a great job to steal the ball away from Hamlin and sends it out of bounds. It will be a Hanover throw. 25:07 remain here in half number 2 in this game here at Bulldog Stadium.
And when Bedford no longer played the little slower game, that got a little quicker, and their organizational strategy, the whole network kind of broke down there.
Great touch by
saying, Lauren.
Yes, great touch by Jess Black to get it over to Annie Zink, who then sent it off the Hanover defender, and it will be a Bedford throw in Bear territory. And now Bulldogs will send it into the box, and right back out it will come, and it will be a Bulldog throw from the far side. Bulldogs trying to find a way to get ahead in this one. Again, they led until not long ago, about 5 minutes of game time, and on a set piece, Hanover wound up scoring the equalizer, and now Hanover threatening again. They are playing with house money, or so it seems. Now, ball sent across, Kenna Snow with it, gets it up to Jenna. Jenna taking her time, now to Anna Diaz off the Hanover defender's foot and sent back into the middle of the field, where it is picked apart by Cece Irwin. Great play. Anna now taking her time, patient as always, and just got it a little bit ahead of Annie Zink, and back the other way come the Bulldogs. Now it is Sloan Correa on the near side, finds Kenzie Forrester. Kenzie takes a touch. She'll have one shot to the right side, and it's good. Big shot. Kenzie Forrester found the bottom right corner. Her 4th goal of the season. The Bulldogs now lead it 2-1. Forrester off the pass from Sloan Correa.
I'll tell you, you know, that old saying, if you don't shoot, you can't score. You got to make that pass and then get the shots off. And she did. That was a beautiful touch. Left foot to a right foot, set it up, and had the space in between the two defenders. Goalkeeper was a little too far to the right. Didn't come out. Didn't cut down the angle at all.
But I'll tell you what set that whole thing up was the pass from Sloan. She won a 50-50 ball and then had the presence of mind to get the ball out of there, sure enough. And a great job to find the senior Forrester and know exactly that she was the person she needed. Great slide tackle there down here on the near side by Jenna Dindorf. Bulldogs now lead 2-1. 23 minutes left here in the game. Libby Fox coming up the near side, using her body a little bit. Tried to take it up the left sideline, couldn't. And now Anna Diaz trying to pick the pocket there of the Hanover offensive player. Back the other way, Kenzie sends it to Libby up top. Lib's now in a foot race and couldn't get past the Hanover defender, but it will be a Bulldog throw. The field flipped. Just tried to get it right past Allison Daigle. Could not.
From the Bulldog standpoint, hopefully they will now calm down, slow things down, can get some ball control back, get those touches.
An insurance goal would be nice, though. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, that's for darn sure. Yeah, with if Hanover keeps going the way that they've been going, I'd say, geez, the last 10, 15 minutes have been 80% controlled by Hanover.
They have looked good. They had, you could tell going into the second half, they had a great deal of enthusiasm on their sideline. And they came out ready to play. They had a game plan, and you know that these Hanover teams, regardless of experience level, anything like that, will always come out ready to play.
Upper Valley is their soccer program up around in there, and many of them do stay there. They probably have a higher percentage than some other pockets of the state of kids that stay home.
It's contagious.
With Upper Valley.
With things like that, though, it is contagious. Now the ball set up. Libby turning the corner. She'll cross, and it is in a big goal from Libby Fox. I have no idea how she found that angle.
Oh, my gosh.
Boy, oh, boy. You want an insurance goal? We go right there. Dude.
The fans are excited, especially the parents of those
I got
scorers.
Scott Forrester turning back to me. She's got a few to catch up, buddy.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know where that one came from. I was hoping for a good cross, not finding the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought it would have been a ball back towards the middle of the penalty area, and she had gotten around the defender and was able to get it basically behind the keeper, I believe.
Well, I mean, it had to go behind her.
It had to be behind her, but I mean, you know, just hit it perfectly.
Now Hanover coming back the other way. Now it's getting good. It's turned into a track meet. Let's go.
Wow.
Back the other way. Here comes Kenzie Forrester. There you go, 21-19. Libby Fox off Annie Zink. And, of course, Annie's going to be involved in everything. That's just kind of how it happens. Kenzie fighting for the ball. Anna Diaz with it. Anna sends it up to Libs, left side. Libby taking a touch, taking another touch, looking in the middle, crosses it, and the keeper winds up with it. But a good ball. It'll work.
Yeah, but not a high percentage.
Okay,
Either take the shot or pull it back somewhat.
Okay, there you go.
So that a player running
in.
Coach.
Yes, I agree with you.
I mean,
no, that's not the shot you want. You're hoping for the cross.
Yeah. And there were Bedford players there. There were Bulldog players there, and I'm sure they know how to use their heads more ways than one.
Yes. Ball rattles down far side, or near side, I should say. Jenna Dindorf with it, but it was off a Bulldog foot. Jenna will just send it off the sideline, so it'll be a Hanover throw. 20 minutes remain here in this game. Bedford now leading 3-1.
Lauren, you maybe remember me saying this. And, you know, you look at the left, you look at that fuchsia pink outfit that the Hanover keeper has, and you look at the bright lime green that really sticks out. And, you know, part of the philosophy back years and years and years ago, maybe before you were born, was put the keeper in really bright colors, and even the attackers will see it and hit the ball to them.
Yes, subliminally.
It's a weird psychology.
Oh, yeah,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it's frustrating.
It makes sense, though.
You make the keeper look good. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put the ball in their hands.
Hanover with the throw, sent in, now headed out of bounds, and it will be second verse, same as the first.
Couple subs here.
Look like we might have a substitution. Off for the Dogs. Look like Meredith Wright goes off, Nora Ripple coming on. And don't know if we had an illegal throw again. There you go, Andy's racking them up. The illegal throws, the second one called.
Now they each have one, each official.
And now the Bulldogs will take a throw, and Andy is pantomiming what it should be like. I will tell you, I mean, I will say, if you can officiate Bedford Men's League basketball, you can officiate anything. So it's the equivalent of, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can deal with all the egos and testosterone that accompany the men's league, you can do it. Now the ball chopped up. Carolyn Kemp comes out, knocks it down. Ball will be sent over the sideline by the Bulldogs, and it will be a Hanover throw. But, man, a dangerous play, and one as a keeper that you have to commit early on to that ball.
Yeah, and unless that kind of a play, you either punch it and clear it out of the goalkeeping area, or you have to catch it. You can't touch it. Be more decisive. Hit the ball.
That's the hard thing as a keeper, though, is you commit, you're on an island. Now the ball sent up. Libby with it, has her pocket picked. I'm going to hear about that comment later. Bulldogs on top, 3-1. Pass sent near side to Maeve Bradley, and it goes over Bradley, out of bounds. It'll be Bulldog throw near side. Jenna Dindorf to take it. And Jenna sends it up. Now up across the timeline. Back the other way comes Malia Pratt for Hanover. And now a quick one touch. And Anna Diaz will field it at about the 45-yard line. It's like it's on remote control when it's Anna over there. Now it's Annie Zink, far side. Annie controls it. Looking up the right sideline. She's got the afterburners, does Annie. Annie with the right foot has it knocked away. And now Hanover will try to send it out, but sends it to Anna Diaz. And Anna tried to send it over the keeper, Sadie Ross, but through the crossbar. I like that shot, though. She is very precise with the ball, and I trust her when it comes to that sort of thing. So low percentage for others. I think she's got as good of a shot as anybody on this field of putting it where she needs to.
That particular shot, I would have liked to see her crank it, though. She had time to really put some oomph into it.
Now the Bears back the other way
to beat the keeper.
Bradley has it go off her foot. Jenna Dindorf, a slide tackle. No call there by Andy Paul into the box.
Nice
left
defense.
Foot sent out by Addie Kiley. Great foot by Addie, kind of clearing that ball. And it will be a Bedford throw near side. 16 minutes remaining here in the game.
You know, the unique position, only one of 11 on each side of the field here. The goalkeeper, the only one that can use their hands.
Yes.
The only one that truly is running into their opponents and their own teammates during the game, deliberately running into to get to the ball. And it reminds me kind of like of the uniqueness of who wants to play goalkeeper, who wants to be the catcher, Lauren. It's similar in some ways.
Who wants to be a place kicker?
Well, yeah, that's different.
But it's
the toughness, the desire to be back there as the stopper. The catcher, I'm saying, similar.
There's a lot of pressure that accompanies it, though. Bedford trying to clear now. Libby tried to find Anna, now up the near side. Meredith Reich. Meredith to Sloan. Sloan takes her time. Great ball control. Winds up losing it, though. And back the other way comes Hanover. Now they're playing at a frenetic pace. Addie Kiley evaluates the situation. Tried to send it out near side. No, maybe she was finding Meredith Reich. Now a home run ball over top. And Libby will give chase up there. And couldn't steal the ball from Allison Daigle, and back the other way come these Hanover Bears.
Nicely settled by Hanover. Here's your passing again. The first good touch led to some passes.
That stop of that ball by McKenna Snow there, she stopped it about chest high with her foot. Like the athleticism she shows on that back line is absolutely amazing. And you look at this junior class that was here as freshmen, and you say, man, they were impact players then, and think about what they are now, and think about what they're going to be next year too. Ball sent over the end line by Hanover, and it'll be a Bedford corner kick coming. First one of the game for the Bulldogs, I think. We have a read on who's taking that over there. Regardless, corner kick coming. Ball into the box, floats in. Libby off the chest, left foot, and off the keeper's hands over the net, and it will be a Bedford corner kick from the near side now.
Yeah, I did not look at this before. There's, 5 seniors on the Bedford team?
Yes.
Only.
Well, there were only 4 last year, too. So this is a
competition.
It's a balanced roster, and if you look at the JV team, there's some kids who can play on that team too. So regardless, Anna Diaz to take this corner kick, sends it through the box high, and it will rattle through. And held in there by the Bulldogs. Now back near side, right foot. It comes into the box and rattles around a bit. Meredith Reich with it now. Anna had a chance one time off the crossbar.
Bulldogs almost had it 4-1. Anna almost had her second. Like, that one was almost too good to be true. And an injury on the far side. Did not see what that was, but
Clock is stopped right away as well.
it was a hard hit and going down for the Bulldogs. I'm not sure who that was, but
the referee did not
was
call
not
for a trainer or anything. The girls.
She doesn't look comfortable, though. I will say that much straight away. And now Michelle Winning giving chase, as is the trainer. And it was a contact play, and there are several players on this Bedford roster with a history of injuries too, whether it's knee, shoulder, you name it. So part of the challenge with a season like this is you got to make sure that everybody's healthy, not in September, but at the end of October as well, when it really matters. Looks like Kenzie Forrester is back in, and I think it was Lila Yater who got knocked down in that situation, and Kenzie will take that kick right there, see if she can find another one.
Just under 13 minutes left here.
Bedford on top 3-1. That one sent into the box. Looked like we might have had a handball in the box. I'll go back and watch that one later. Now it's sent out far side.
Caught her upper torso.
I'll give that to you.
They got that insurance goal that you were saying would be a sweet thing for the Bulldogs. However,
now right back into the box, into the belly of the keeper, Ross, in her bright pink kit. Kevin Gibbs is now considering outfitting the Bulldogs basketball team in bright pink in the hopes that the opponents will do nothing except throw passes to them all season. Lila Yater was the one who was injured up on the far side, knocked down, and wound up getting off on her own power. So
freshman,
always a good thing.
Who
yes,
was added to the roster.
A freshman added to the roster, but I will tell you, having seen her play in scrimmages, she was mixing it up a bit. So she's a physical player, and I think she'll be one who, in the long run, will be a valuable piece of the puzzle for the Bulldogs as well. Ball sent back up. Now Anna Diaz with it. I keep seeing handballs.
That looked like it could have been.
Yeah, I see it go off of a body part that's not a torso.
But again, even if it touches the arm, it's not necessarily, or hand, arm, wrist, whatever we're talking here, it's not necessarily a violation unless it's intentional. And sometimes the referees let it go.
Yes.
If she's just trying to keep her balance in that case, I think maybe, versus reaching out for it. Sometimes it's so obvious it's easy.
But you see it happen a lot where it appears that it's incidental and it's still called. Yes.
Yeah,
so
which is wrong.
Why is that?
Well, it's the difference between a really good official and an official that's not really good. And it happens a lot, absolutely.
Bulldogs leading 3-1, 10.5 minutes remaining here in the game.
Anybody that's watched some of the football games lately, the college games, there have been some
that's just all bets are off now.
You get to that level, and they are technically professionals and should
they're getting paid to do the work,
mistakes.
But ball sent back near side, and Bradley has it go off her foot. Now back the other way, the Bulldogs. Nora Ripple, great job keeping calm there. Sends it to Anna Diaz off of Anna's foot. No fault of Anna's. And now Emma Peterson there in the middle, challenging for the ball. Great job on D for these Bulldogs. Sloan Correa mixing it up, not afraid to mix it up at all. She has been an impact player here tonight, that much is sure. And now back the other way come the Hanover Bears, and that one will trickle out over the end line off of a Bear boot, and it will be a Bulldog goal kick.
So if Hanover was not the Bears, if they were the Panthers,
I would not have been alliterative.
It wouldn't be the Pink Panther in goal?
No. I'm now trying to come up with a Crayola color that is that, but I don't have that. Words are hard right now, Bill.
Usually, broadcasting games is fairly easy.
Oh, no, it's fun.
You do need self-control, and I mean, I'm not saying you do.
Oh, yes, I do.
We all do.
We all need a filter. Sometimes.
Excuse me.
Emma Peterson with it, back far side. Nice job by Petey. Now sent up and over. To the near side, Meredith Reich will be in a foot race. Libby giving chase too, but it'll trickle out over the sideline.
Did somebody have a stopwatch on her?
She's all right.
She is pretty darn quick, let me tell you. Oh my gosh.
Did not get that from me.
Where's the track coach?
Oh, she runs track.
She does run track. Okay, there we go.
That again, going back to the commenting illegal throw. What do you think, Bill?
That was okay. I don't think that should have been called, but that's the kind of throw that is called a lot in youth soccer. Too much.
Sloan sends it through. I thought it went off of a Hanover player. Might have been able to trickle out over the end line. Nothing doing.
Ooh,
now back into the box.
Here it is.
Rattle
here it
around,
is, here it is.
and Libby knocked down in the box. And the Bedford Bulldogs send it in regardless.
Yes, referees.
And I think that was Emma Peterson who got the goal. We'll see if they give Libby the assist on that one. But Libby absolutely sandwiched and pancaked. But regardless, Petey with the goal, and the Bulldogs now lead it 4-1.
Either way, the clock stopped. It was hard to tell, but I am pretty darn sure that the lead official did exactly the right thing. Pause just long enough, play
Advantage.
on.
Yeah.
There was an advantage, which I could see from up here. And I mean, listen to what I just said. Look at the goal. That was beautiful. Love it. My perspective.
So the Bulldogs now on top 4-1, 8 minutes remaining here in the game. The assist to Kenzie. So she is filling up the stat sheet as per usual. And the Bulldogs now lead it 4-1.
Assisted by Mackenzie Forrester.
And after letting up the goal on the set piece, which I still want to go back and watch later, because I'm not sure what led to it. Regardless, the Bulldogs have answered with vigor here, leading 4-1.
Did he just signal timeout? Stop the clock?
Well,
No, he reached up for the ball.
It's going to be a direct kick here.
What my concern was, he was walking down slowly, maybe thinking whether or not it was in the area or not for a penalty kick.
Port Carolyn goes in for the second half and gets two that are high degree of difficulty coming here.
Here you go, keeper. Let's make a stop for Bedford.
No pressure. That one sent up and over and
Not out.
kept in well by Hanover.
Yeah.
Great header to keep that ball in bounds, but Sloan Correa fighting for the ball. Love it. Love to see it. And now, actually, that was McKenna Snow. I'm lying. Did a great job fighting for the ball. And now back the other way come the Bulldogs. And knocked out of bounds, and we'll see who is awarded the ball. They say Bedford ball here. The throw goes up the far sideline, rattles around for a bit. Now, coming back the other way is this Bulldog team, but a whistle blows, and we had a Hanover player go down. That's Allison Daigle, and they will check out Daigle, who is the senior back for these Bears. I do like this nice touch that we have here in the press box where we have these little lights that we don't have to have the main light on. Andrew Fenn thinks of everything.
Yeah, he told me before we got here tonight that he was primping up the place for us a little
Exactly. We need those LED lights that change colors. Can we get that? Corey wouldn't mind. Ball up the right side. Libby in a foot race. Just lost the ball enough to slow her down just a little bit. Continues to give chase up there. Couldn't come up with it, get it away from the Hanover defender, Bradley. And now back the other direction come the Bulldogs as that one is sent into the box to the keeper, Sadie Ross, who kicks it with her foot and then picks it up. It was an odd one, and then it looked like it might have ricocheted to her off one of her teammates, but regardless, comes up with it. We'll send it up the right side. And now back the other way come these Bears.
And that passing lane filled up pretty quickly. And now Hanover still charging on offense. Sends it in. Knocked away into the middle now. Emma Peterson had a chance at it. And Stewart wound up losing it. Hanover holds it in, but they got to get something going. They're trailing 4-1, 5 minutes remaining. Give or take. We don't quite know how much time's left.
You know, speaking about how the girls come together in a high school program from different clubs and whatnot, but a lot of these, the Upper Valley team, the Hanover girls, if they've been playing together and they're all about the same age, primarily sophomores, that's probably part of the reason why they do look pretty darn good tonight.
This is a team that I could see by the end of the season giving some teams a run for their money.
Yeah.
They play a good brand of soccer, and every game, if you look at it from a perspective of every game you're getting better, at the end of the season, you'll wind up a better team. If you look at it like these are isolated failures, man, that can be tough. So Emma Peterson, Meredith Reich, Libby Fox off for the Dogs. And I think Elise Olson now into the game for Bedford, sure enough. Lila Yater also into the game for the Dogs, and did not make out the third one who came in, but Bulldogs with what amounts to a line change.
We're down to less than 5 minutes left.
In the under 5.
Bedford sports fans out there, we get Friday Night Football, the opener. Bedford's playing down at Nashville North. 6:30 game this Friday.
That will be on TV?
It will be.
Okay, good.
Volleyball starts on Friday as well. They're out in Exeter at 6:15 start, I believe.
All I keep hearing about volleyball is how stacked that team is going to be. So they have had a very good run. They had a coaching change, of course. The coach went to St. A's, but when you look at what they've been able to accomplish the last several years, of course, they've lost some big names. Lana McCarthy, the most notable among them, at least to those of us who are more lay people when it comes to volleyball. There are quite obviously others, but when you look at reigning players of the year and whatnot, Lana, a big name to lose.
Yeah, and the fact that volleyball lost her to basketball, it shows you what a fantastic high school coach she probably had that inspired her.
Wow.
Who recently saw her out at Purdue,
West
where she's
Lafayette.
doing really, really well. Fitting right in.
Now Annie Zink up the left side, still fighting. Bulldogs are up 4-1, and Annie and Hannah Gardner going after it. And we'll see if they called the penalty there on Annie or said that the ball went out of bounds. They said that it went out of bounds.
Throw.
And it will be a throw here.
The Bedford golf team, it's a co-ed group. They're 3-0. Pickering, Keene, and Dover wins over them.
All right. Well, golf is usually a solid sport here in Bedford.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's golf, tennis. Those are usually reasonably
Bass
high
fishing
quality
doesn't start
teams.
till
Bass
the end
fishing,
of the month.
of course. Well, are we doing Sports Center right now? Is
We're
this
doing
the thing?
Sports Center, yeah.
Like I have to do Stuart Scott?
Throw it in. Field hockey, home.
Field hockey.
3-0 win to start over Salem, and they play again tomorrow.
And again, good athletes on that
BG.
field hockey team as well. Some track athletes as well in that group. Now the Bulldogs leading 4-1. No idea how much time's left in the game. I didn't start the watch at that point. I don't know if Kevin Gibbs did either. We're not in mid-season form yet, but
we'll get there, Lauren.
We're getting there. 2 games in. Not ready for it to be fall, but man, did it feel like a nice kind of early fall day today. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is actually a very nice evening for a soccer game. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's dry. Virtually no wind at all.
Anna sent it in the middle, trying to find CC just a little bit past her. And now Hanover will send it all the way up to Cosima Torresani and knocked out of bounds. Just a fun name to say. The Bulldogs went up 1-0 in this game.
at the 1947 mark. The goal came in a collision right at about the 18. Anna Diaz and the Hanover goalie Sadie Ross off a ball over the top by McKenna Snow. That made it 1-0 to the Bulldogs. Your final here now 4-1. We heard the whistle signaling the end of the game. But Bill, we had an equalizer, and the Bulldogs had looked disorganized, and Hanover looked like they were ready to roll starting that second half. They tied up that game on a set piece from Allison Daigle. We'll have to go back and watch that one and figure out what precipitated that. But that made it 1-1, and then not even 6 minutes later, a clock time, Kenzie Forrester scored her 4th goal of the season to put the Bulldogs up ahead 2-1 off an assist from Sloan Correa. And then 2 minutes and 8 seconds after that, the Bulldogs got the insurance goal that we were talking about. Libby Fox from the junior Annie Zink to put the Bulldogs up 3-1. And the Bulldogs then waited another 13 minutes before they went ahead 4-1 on a ball that was sent into the box by Mackenzie Forrester. Libby had a shot at it, was sandwiched, and Emma Peterson there, Johnny on the spot, finding a way to knock the ball into the net and put the Bulldogs up, give them big insurance, 4-1 the final in this one. So for you, Bill, having seen the Bulldogs for the first time, they won the first game of the season 4-0. They won today 4-1. What are your takeaways after game number 2?
I love the way that they came back after, like you were saying, we got knotted up 1-1, and Hanover continued to play well, challenge them, put them under some pressure, and they had to regroup, like start from scratch again. You know, when you consider the high score, obviously, but beyond that, I mean, it was a case of they really, really played well towards the end of the second half, and they took those shots, which, you know, I think Coach Winning's going to be very happy that they unleashed the ball there and came ahead to start the season 2-0 the way it's been.
Good start to the season for the Bulldogs,
2-0.
Starting out 2-0. Take that.
Kevin Gibbs is all excited.
Kevin Gibbs is long gone. Kevin Gibbs, all he does is win no matter what. That's it.
It's good to be around a bunch of winners.
Gibbs doing our PA here today. Thank you to Kevin for keeping us apprised on what he was getting from the field. Thank you, of course, to Bill Jennings for his excellent camera work as always upstairs. Andrew Fenn for being the man manning the sound. My analyst, Bill Klein. And again, I'm Lauren Fox. Your final in tonight's game, the Bedford High girls beat the Hanover Bears 4-1. You have been watching BCTV, or you have been watching Bedford High girls soccer on BCTV.